Hi, Fiona.
Hey Kelly, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Let's have a look at this painting.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Ready for confined. Hi, I'm Kelly Flanagan and I'm a Wiradjuri woman, and this is a little bit about my story. The torch became part of my journey in 2022. I got involved because I just needed an outlet. I needed something different in my life than what I was doing before. So painting, creating of any kind was, it was a really big highlight for me. So I take some positives from my prison experience and painting and, weaving and this connection. It's brought me back. It's saved my life. I was lucky enough to have a couple of other Indigenous women that I lived with in a unit. So we'd just sit together and we kind of just collaborated and put together some of the first artworks I did. The inspiration is from them. So some of them came together really nicely. I think when we go inside, we lose everything about us, all of our identity. We lose our name, we become a number. And, having that outlet to paint, to feel unique and special, that to me, I think that was life-changing, to be honest. I felt part of a community that I was isolated from. So currently I'm working on putting together a submission with the community law legal centres around stopping Dame Phyllis Frost Centre from locking down women because of no staff. We've been doing some meetings and we've been writing to corrections and the commissioner, and we're trying just to get them to listen to us. And the women are suffering with mental health issues, and this stuff's real, and I want to make it known to the community, to the public. Leaving the girls in there still suffering with the lockdowns, it hurts my heart, it hurts my soul. So if there's one good thing that I can take from my jail experience, it's to try and help move forward in the future with less lockdowns, and because I don't think people realise just how hard that is for the women to go through that. I feel really inspired right now to try and get all my pieces and collaborate them into one space, one digital space, so that they can be viewed and shared, and it's good for me to be able to visually see them and see the journey myself. I am very eager to attend my first gallery, my first gallery meeting at the Torch, so that's going to be exciting. I've never done one before, and being released recently, that makes me excited to experience that. So this is a piece I have prepared for Confined this year. It's called The Beginning of Something Beautiful. It was a really good way to express myself, I guess, in a dark place, obviously being prison. It was a good way to express myself in a more colourful way. Yeah, I feel like I've really captured that here. And the circles for me are all representing a different part of that journey. Some days it's a walk in the park. Other days it's miserable, but at the end of the day, I always have a place as long as I have canvas. So I use it as much as I can to, inspire myself to keep going through the days. For me, I do a lot of people sitting around or because I feel like whenever I was incarcerated, there's always people watching me. There's always people sitting around me. And for people that have been incarcerated, they understand the idea of a fishbowl and what that represents, which is like an officer's post. So they're always sitting around where we are watching and listening. And, and whenever I think of like frogs, and I just think of serenity, peace, water. So that's where I sit in the middle of things. I just want some peace and I want some serenity. So the way that my culture has inspired my art is, it's quite obvious to tell that I like a lot of busy pieces, and I didn't initially know this, but I love texture. I like to touch things. So some of the artwork looks a little bit out there, but a lot of it's raised, and so it's meant to look like that. It's meant to look and feel raised and with different styles, shiny acrylic or matte acrylic. And I think this new raised look that I'm doing, it really inspires, it inspires happiness inside me, especially with the yellows and the oranges. But this particular piece was the last piece that I did before being released, and I guess this is obviously how I was feeling at the time. I was very, very busy in my mind, that's for sure. But the journey looked different. It looked brighter. It looked clearer. It looked less painful. This is one of my favorites. It's for my daughter, and it's called the Goddess of Fertility. So it's more about looking forward in the future when she wants to have children. And so the middle goddess represents my daughter, and then the goddess on the right represents myself, and then the one on the left represents my mother. So continuing that connection, and maybe when the baby's born, hopefully it's a girl, and then I can add another lady to another one. Having an art practice has changed my plans for the future dramatically. With the help of the torch and the supporters and the people around me now, they want me to succeed. They don't want to drag me down. And by having these people around me and support me, makes me feel valid, it makes me feel important, and it makes me feel like I can do it. When people are viewing my art, I think it's important for them to realize that this is not just art. When you're looking at a canvas from an artist, their soul is in that. A little piece of my soul is in there. And for every little piece that is sold to somebody, you have a part of me in your office or your home, and that makes me feel proud, because when I'm opening up and I'm sharing little pieces of my soul with people, it makes me want, it makes me want to be a better person. Makes me want to share more and more of me, because people are enjoying, having me on their walls, as weird as that sounds.